It is Thursday, the 6th of March, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. This is the episode that comes out in the day I return from Scotland. You love to see it. So, it wouldn't be a season-themed week without me talking about Bon Iver now, would it? There's kind of this whole thing that each of Bon Iver's first 4 albums represents a season, and people generally agree that Bon Iver, the self-titled from 2011, is the spring album. And I was thinking, well, do I want to talk about a song from that album for this week? I've already talked about Perth, I've already talked about Holocene, and those are my two favorites on the album. But then I thought, well, I could talk about Beth Rest, but I really love the song Towers. And I suppose it does have kind of a spring feel to it in a sense in the interpretations of the lyrics. Now, this is a Bon Iver song, so of course there's going to be a whole thing here where I'm not going to be able to fully analyze the lyrics because they're going to be strange. I'm going to do my best, and I think the idea behind the song and the story behind the title is very interesting. I also remember the video being very good, and I'm going to rewatch it now, although I can't really say much about it from memory. But we're going to go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Towers by Bon Iver. Now, before we get started on talking about the song itself, let's talk about the title and the inspiration for the song. So, this is what he has said at some point. I don't know where the quote is from, but I've seen it in a few places. Towers is the name of the dormitory that I lived in college. It's made up of these two towers, north and south. My girlfriend lived in one and I lived in the other. It's about falling in love, but also about what happens when you've long fallen out of love, and those reminders are still there. You drive by them, these two buildings, and you look, and you realize that we really built that up. We really built that love into these things, and for a long time afterward, looking at them really made me feel sad to see these empty buildings that I don't go in anymore. But then as time goes on, they start to become kind of joyous in their own way. You can look at them and think, that love was great, and these buildings still stand tall. But there's also an element of the fact that they're just buildings. They're going to fall down one day, and they're not that important because there's new love in your life, and you've got to break things down that get built up. A very interesting inspiration and idea here, this idea of the two literal towers that he and his girlfriend lived in at the time becoming this sort of metaphor for the things you build up and the things that fall apart and the beginning and ending of relationships and how things stay with you and how things go away. He has also said in live performances that this is a song about losing your virginity. I don't know how serious he is about that or how much of the song is about that, but it stands to reason that maybe he lost his virginity in college to this girlfriend, and that's kind of alluded to here. But anyway, so let's get into the lyrics, shall we? So it starts off with a long sort of intro with electronic sounds and acoustic sounds and the sounds of nature, and then, for the love I'd fallen on in the swampy August dawn, what a mischief you would bring, young darling, when the onus is not all your own, when you're up for it before you've grown. Whoa. See, that's what I love about this song, is that, first of all, the guitar riff of the ding 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 is just a great riff, but also the whoa is a great vocal riff, you know. So, for the love I'd fallen on in the swampy August dawn, what a mischief you would bring, young darling, when the onus is not all your own. I mean, it just sounds like he's talking about, you know, the love. What a mischief you would bring, young darling, very much talks about young love. They're college students. They're young and full of mischief, and he's saying that she brings mischief when the onus is not all your own, when you're up for it before you've grown. Just talking about youth and you know, being up for mischief. From the fawn forever gone in the towers of your honeycomb, I'd have tore your hair out just to climb back, darling. When you're filling out your only form, can you tell that it's just ceremony? Now you've added up to what you're from. Whoa. So, from the fawn forever gone, I assume this is referring to how, right, a fawn is, you know, a half human, half goat mythological creature like Mr. Tumnus or whatever, right? He's saying from the fawn forever gone, like we're past that fairy tale, right? In the towers of your honeycomb, I don't know if that's just referring to sweetness, or I'd have tore your hair out just to climb back, darling. That sounds like he wants to go back up the towers, you know? When you're filling out your only form, can you tell that it's just ceremony? Now you've added up to what you're from. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Someone on Genius thinks that the ceremony is referring to losing virginity, like it said, but I don't know. And then the bridge, and I love this, because it does kind of like a, not quite a tune change, but it just like gets a bit bigger and the drums come in. Build your tether, rain out from your fragments. Break the sailor's table on your sacrum. Fuck the fiercest fables, I'm with Hagen. I don't know who Hagen is that it's referring to here. It's a place in Germany. Is it a person's name, though? Probably. Well, apart from Tom Hagen from The Godfather, I doubt it's referring to him. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, build your tether, rain out from your fragments. Break the sailor's table in your sacrum. Fuck the fiercest fable alone with Hagen. Again, it's just, I don't know what it's about, but it also feels like talking about building things up, breaking them down, like he talked about. Fuck the fiercest fables. I mean, like I said, the faun is sort of this mythological creature, could be referring to that. Sacrum, by the way, is connected to your pelvis. It's like a bony structure in your body. So, and I'm not sure what I'm with Hagen is referring to, but I love how the music turns here where it goes like you know, it's kind of doing a similar kind of a counterpoint to the whoa whoa. You got the and then for the love comes the burning young, from the liver sweating through your tongue, while you're standing on my sternum, don't you climb down, darling. Oh, the sermons are the first to rest, smoke on Sundays when you're drunk and dressed, out the hollows where the swallow nests. Whoa. So for the love comes the burning young. Again, like I said, about youth and the love you feel when you're young, from the liver sweating through your tongue. I mean, there's references later in the verse to drinking, so that could be what that's referencing here. While you're standing on my sternum, don't you climb down, darling. So again, references to climbing, and it sounds like using the towers to talk about love. Like I said, like climbing down would be falling out of love. I don't know what standing on your sternum means other than like holding someone down. Oh, the sermons are the first to rest, smoke on Sundays when you're drunk and dressed. He could be referring to like, don't preach to me, sort of talking about hypocrisy. But also Sundays when you're drunk and dressed makes you think of like drinking the communion wine. I don't know. And then at the hollows where the swallow nests. Whoa. Again, it's a Bon Iver song. It's all about the vibes. I don't know what the specific lyrics mean, but you really do get this feeling of, first of all, like spring, with the kind of build up of it, and it feels like rebirth, but also this kind of discussion of almost the kind of cyclical nature of relationships and how you build things up and you break them down and you fall in love and you fall apart. It's a great kind of illustration of that, and I really enjoy it. I think that's pretty much going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
I want you to imagine.
Don't do that. It's about falling in love, but also about what happens when you're long fallen out of love, and those... Oh, good Lord. For the love I'd fallen on in the swimpy... Swimpy?